Hey, Cowboys Nation! Today, we are diving into the latest developments surrounding America's team as they gear up for a high-stakes clash against the Minnesota Vikings. This week's practice reports have provided a mix of promising returns and ongoing concerns, highlighting the challenges the team faces in balancing recovery and readiness for a critical matchup. Injuries have been a focal point, and while some players are pushing through limitations, others continue to be monitored closely as the coaching staff carefully navigates player availability and long-term health. Tyler Geaton was absent from Wednesday's practice due to an ankle issue, which immediately raises questions about his timeline for returning to the field. High ankle sprains are notoriously slow to heal, and offensive linemen often require weeks of rehabilitation before they can be counted on for full participation. Without at least a partial session on Thursday, Geaton's status for the upcoming game looks uncertain, leaving additional pressure on backups like Nate Thomas to step into key roles and maintain offensive line cohesion against the Vikings' defensive front that has been regaining its rhythm in recent weeks. Meanwhile, the rest of the roster has been making progress through Wednesday's sessions, albeit with limitations. Players such as Jadeveon Clowney, Trevon Diggs, Jake Ferguson, and CeeDee Lamb were present in practice, working through injuries with varying degrees of participation. Clowney, dealing with a hamstring concern, was limited during the drills, which in many cases signals gradual progress and the potential for full clearance as the week continues. Maintaining his presence on the defensive line will be essential for the Cowboys, especially when facing a Vikings offensive front that has recently started to find consistency and performance. Clowney's ability to contribute effectively could be a deciding factor in controlling the line of scrimmage, both in stopping the run and applying pressure on the quarterback. While hamstring injuries require careful monitoring, the reports indicate that Clowney is trending in a positive direction, suggesting that he could be available for game day with the proper management and a full evaluation. Leading into Friday's practice, focusing on CeeDee Lamb, the wide receiver returned to practice on a limited basis as he continues to progress through the concussion protocol. Sources close to the team suggest that Lamb is currently in stage 4 of the 5-stage recovery process, which is an encouraging sign for fans eager to see one of the league's top playmakers back on the field. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer's comments have indicated that Lamb may only have a step or two remaining before he is fully cleared, and his return could dramatically bolster the Cowboys' passing attack. Before his concussion, Lamb was performing at an elite level, ranking among the league's leaders in yards per route run and showing explosive ability in every matchup. His absence has been felt in both stretching defenses and providing reliable options in critical situations, making his potential return a significant storyline as the team prepares to face a Vikings squad that has shown resilience in recent games. If Lamb is unable to play, the coaching staff may lean more heavily on George Pickens, Ryan Fennoy, or Jalen Tolbert to fill the gap, though none carry the same proven impact that Lamb provides when healthy and fully integrated into the offensive game plan. Trevon Diggs presents another intriguing situation, as his return to practice has been deliberate and carefully monitored. The coaching staff has emphasized the importance of ramping up not just physically, but also mentally, ensuring that Diggs fully understands defensive schemes and is in sync with newer teammates who have been adjusting in his absence. With this being his final season with the Cowboys, the dynamics around his participation have drawn added attention, as fans and analysts alike weigh the impact of his return on a secondary that relies heavily on his presence. Diggs has been working on a combination of rehabilitation, skill development, and strategic alignment, making his preparation both comprehensive and complex. While he is eager to contribute, the team is clearly prioritizing readiness over rushing him back, recognizing that proper integration is crucial to both his safety and the overall defensive performance. Monitoring his progression throughout the week will offer valuable insight into whether he will be able to participate meaningfully in Sunday's matchup. Other players such as Hunter Lipke, Savoni Revel, and Donovan Wilson also participated in practice with limitations. Lipke and Ferguson, dealing with fatigue and minor strains after a demanding stretch of games, were limited in drills, which is not uncommon during periods of high intensity. Revel worked through a knee concern but managed to participate in the session, signaling progress while still requiring careful observation. Hakey Deeney, despite a knee issue, was a full participant, indicating that his recovery is trending positively and that he could be a key contributor on both sides of the ball. These varying levels of participation reflect a team actively managing player workloads to ensure that they can maximize performance while mitigating the risk of further injury. With multiple players on different stages of recovery, the coaching staff is tasked with balancing health, practice repetitions, and preparation to maintain a competitive edge heading into a challenging matchup. Looking at the broader implications, the Cowboys' injury updates underscore the importance of depth and versatility throughout the roster. The offensive line, particularly with Tyler Guyton sidelined, faces added pressure to perform consistently against the Vikings' defense known for complex blitz packages and aggressive play calling. Every snap will require clear communication, coordination, and awareness from both starters and backups, as any misstep could create vulnerabilities that the opposition will exploit. On defense, the return of key players like Clowney and Diggs, alongside the presence of consistent contributors, could provide the stability and playmaking needed to disrupt Minnesota's offensive schemes. The balance of returning talent and limited participation emphasizes that each practice session carries significant weight in determining readiness, and how these players are managed over the next few days will be critical to the team's ability to execute on game day. CeeDee Lamb's progression through the concussion protocol remains a highlight in practice reports, as his potential reintegration could significantly impact the Cowboys' offensive dynamics. The team has carefully monitored his involvement, ensuring that he is not only physically ready, but also mentally prepared to handle the pace and complexity of live action. Lamb's presence stretches the field, opens up opportunities for his teammates, and presents matchup challenges for any defense. Clowney's recovery on the defensive line, paired with Diggs' measured ramp-up, exemplifies the strategic precision with which the Cowboys are managing their roster. Each player's availability feeds directly into the team's game plan, influencing matchups, personnel rotations, and the overall approach to both offense and defense. This careful management reflects the broader goal of maintaining health and optimizing performance during a crucial point in the season. As the week progresses, every practice drill, limited participation, and assessment provides insight into how the Cowboys are preparing for a challenging opponent. The coaching staff's attention to detail and focus on player readiness highlight the importance of strategic planning in a league where small advantages can have significant consequences. With key offensive weapons and defensive leaders inching closer to full participation, the potential for impactful returns adds excitement and anticipation for fans. The interplay between recovery, preparation, and tactical deployment ensures that each player is given the opportunity to contribute safely and effectively, shaping the team's approach as they aim to maximize performance against the Vikings team that has been steadily improving in recent weeks. The focus on player management, careful monitoring of injuries, and attention to practice performance illustrates how the Cowboys are approaching this stretch of the season. Balancing recovery with competitive readiness requires detailed planning, as each decision has a ripple effect across the roster. The progression of CeeDee Lamb, Jadeveon Clowney, Trevon Diggs, and others will define much of the strategy leading into Sunday's game, with coaches weighing every factor from physical readiness to integration with teammates. Fans will be watching closely as these updates unfold, understanding that each player's status directly impacts how the team lines up, executes plays, and competes against a Vikings squad that presents multiple challenges, both offensively and defensively. With practice reports showing encouraging trends and careful management of key players, the Cowboys are positioning themselves to field a competitive and strategically prepared team for what promises to be a pivotal game. As the week progresses, the spotlight remains on the Cowboys' practice sessions and the gradual reintegration of key players. Each day of practice provides critical insight into how the team plans to balance the demands of preparation with the physical realities of recovery. CeeDee Lamb's participation, even in a limited role, continues to be a major storyline, offering optimism for a passing game that has relied heavily on his explosiveness and ability to stretch defenses. His ability to create separation, find openings in coverage, and serve as a consistent threat downfield has been sorely missed, and his gradual return could drastically alter the offensive landscape. For the team, every route run, every cutback, and every reception in practice contributes to the coaching staff's evaluation of his readiness, as they weigh both the benefits of his return and the necessity of caution to prevent setbacks. Trevon Diggs remains another central focus. While his physical readiness is progressing, much of the evaluation revolves around his mental preparation and timing within the defensive Scheme. The addition of newer teammates in the secondary has created a dynamic in which Diggs must quickly reacclimate to ensure that communication, alignment, and understanding of coverage responsibilities are seamless. His reintegration is not merely about returning to form, but about synchronizing with the adjustments and changes that have taken place in his absence. The coaching staff's careful approach highlights both the value they place on his talent and the recognition that rushing a player back could have detrimental consequences. For a defensive leader of his caliber, timing, chemistry, and situational awareness are just as critical as physical health, and the ongoing ramp-up is designed to ensure that once he steps on the field, he can perform at his highest level without compromise. On the defensive front, Jadeveon Clowney's progression through a hamstring concern continues to provide a sense of cautious optimism. Limited practice participation has indicated that he is trending toward full readiness, a development that could significantly impact the team's pass rush and run defense against the Vikings' offensive line that has recently shown the ability to protect their quarterback and generate movement at the point of attack. Clowney's ability to apply consistent pressure, disrupt timing, and create opportunities for his teammates adds an essential dimension to the Cowboys' defensive scheme. Monitoring his involvement throughout the week will be critical, as the coaching staff determines whether he can contribute without risk, maintaining both health and performance during a matchup that promises to be physically demanding. The offensive line continues to be under the microscope, with Tyler Jeaton's absence serving as a reminder of the importance of depth and preparedness. Offensive linemen must operate with precision and cohesion, especially against the Vikings' defensive front that excels in creative blitzes and stunts. Backups such as Nate Thomas are being evaluated, not only for their ability to step into critical roles, but also for their capacity to maintain rhythm, communication, and adaptability under pressure. Each practice rep for these players carries increased significance, as the coaching staff works to ensure that the offensive line can function effectively and protect the quarterback, while opening lanes for the running game. The balance between ensuring readiness and avoiding overexertion is delicate yet essential, as any misstep along the line could create opportunities for the opposition to capitalize. Other contributors such as Jake Ferguson, Hunter Lipke, Savoni Revel, and Heike Deeney continue to be monitored as they work through fatigue and minor injuries from the rigors of recent games. 3 matches in 11 days have taken a toll on many of these players, and managing their workloads is critical to sustaining performance while avoiding exacerbation of lingering issues. Ferguson and Lipke were limited in Wednesday's session, highlighting the team's attention to recovery and the necessity of maintaining energy and effectiveness in both special teams and primary roles. Revel's knee concern and Deeney's full participation despite a knee issue exemplify the careful balancing act the Cowboys are performing, ensuring players remain engaged in practice while minimizing the risk of setbacks, keeping them available for the high-intensity demands of Sunday's game. Before we roll on, subscribe to Cowboys Wire News, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Your support keeps the Dallas Cowboys updates coming. Tell us what you think in the comments. The Dallas football world has been buzzing for hours, and no, it's not about a last-second touchdown or a blockbuster signing. The noise comes from something far more unexpected. Dak Prescott, normally measured and diplomatic, let slip a remark about Javonte Williams that has every Cowboys fan leaning a little closer to their screens. It wasn't a playful jab, nor a vague comment lost in cliches. It was a critique sharp enough to echo far beyond the locker room walls and into the restless realm of rumor and speculation. The quarterback was asked about physicality and offensive play, a subject he usually handles with textbook calm, but when Williams' name surfaced, Prescott's tone reportedly tightened. Observers swear they caught a hint of frustration, the kind that comes from a mix of respect and impatience. Williams, known for his bruising style and ability to bulldoze through tackles, has long been a player Cowboys supporters admire from afar. Hearing Prescott call out aspects of his game, particularly discipline in certain situations, immediately raised eyebrows. Was it simple honesty, a hidden message, or something brewing behind the scenes? Inside team circles, whispers grew louder. Some insist Prescott meant nothing more than challenging a fellow competitor, setting a standard he expects across the league. Others claim there's more beneath the surface, admiration tangled with a desire to see Williams sharpen his decision-making, especially in moments when power alone won't solve the puzzle. The critique wasn't scathing, but it was pointed enough to stir debate among fans imagining hypothetical scenarios. Could Prescott be nudging toward a potential partnership? Could this be a quarterback's way of sending a message to the front office or perhaps to Williams himself around Dallas? The chatter refuses to die down. Social feeds overflow with theories, each wilder than the last, while analysts dissect every syllable Prescott uttered. Whether this moment becomes a footnote or the start of something bigger, one thing is certain: the Cowboys faithful are on high alert. When the franchise quarterback speaks with edge, people listen, and right now, everyone is trying to understand exactly what Dak Prescott meant when he aimed his words at Javonte Williams. That's a wrap from Cowboys Wire News. For breaking Cowboys updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Tell us your take in the comments.